Are Rolex compromising build quality to combat the prices seen on the grey market? So for you guys that follow the channel, I'm sure you're probably aware the amount of brand new and unworn watches that LWC have in stock, and we'll probably get more than our fair share of all the other independent grey market dealers. And what we've seen over the last 4, 5, 6 weeks, maybe up to even 8 weeks, is the build quality from Rolex that we've seen for brand new unworn watches is slipping. And what do I mean by that? So we've started to see imperfections. Some of these are in the ceramic bezels, for example. So these two here, obviously we've got the ceramic on the Submariner, the green Starbucks. We've also got the black ceramic bezel on the Daytona. So in these particular two here, when we look at these under magnification, they actually have a porous finish, almost like an orange peel in places. And it's not just one, it's on quite a few of the ceramic models. And when we look at them under magnification, we can actually see tiny, tiny little dots on it. This is not what we've seen from Rolex over the last few years. It's certainly not what we've seen since I've been in the business, which is 10 years. And it's certainly something that we've seen a lot more of over the last few weeks, as well as, believe it or not, hairs under the glass. We have seen on more than one occasion hairs under the glass, and they could be in random places in the glass. They can be sort of small hairs, grey hairs, beard hairs, you name it. You know, I'm not too sure what the hairs are, but they are there. And quality control is something that Rolex should be doing on all of their watches. And we have seen them even on the lume. So if you've got an luminous marker, for example, so if you look at the Starbucks here, you'll see they've got luminous baton and dot markers. When we start to inspect them, when they come into LWC, we'll see tiny little hair just over the luminous marker, and for us, obviously, we can't stock that watch. Why can't we stock that watch? Just purely because there's an imperfection with it, and it certainly is something that we pick up, so we cannot pass that on to our client. What else have we seen from Rolex? We've also seen marks on some of the hands. You know, some of the hands, so we've obviously got 18 karat white gold hands on this particular Submariner. We've seen little imperfections like little watermarks, little scratches. We had one in the other day. It was the Datejust Wimbledon actually, which was this one here. Not this exact watch, but this model. And it unfortunately had a tiny mark on the dial by the second number 2 on the dial. And it also had some watermarks on the hands, and it also had scratches to the main minute hand. So unfortunately, this watch was a day old, by the way. So unfortunately, we could not take this watch in. We advised the client to send it back to Rolex and obviously get them to inspect it and send it back to the service center and get the actual dial swapped and obviously the hands changed. But this is something that we've seen over the last 4 or 6 weeks. And we've got to ask ourselves the question, why is this? Why are we seeing so many new watches coming through with imperfections to the dial, to the bezel, to the hands, brand new, unworn, 1-day-old watches? And the only reason that I can think is to combat the market prices that we've seen on the grey market of certain models, including some of the bimetal models, some of the other models that are, let's say, not as desirable in the market, the bigger gold pieces, all the ones out there that, you know, Rolex are struggling to sell. You know, our Rolex, you've got to ask yourself the question, ramping up production, pushing the watches out quicker than they should do to satisfy the need of the client there before the prices drop further. Because what happens when the prices drop further in the grey market? Less people want to pick them up from their Rolex authorised dealer. So let's dig into some official numbers for Rolex. The official numbers for Rolex last year is 1.25 million watches produced each year. And to give you guys an idea, all Rolex models are assembled and manufactured in-house, and they have a system where they will assemble each part of the watch. They will do the cases, they'll do the bracelets, the dials, the movements, and each Rolex watch takes 1 year to produce, which is pretty crazy to say for one watch, but they are the official figures. And you have to ask yourself the question, are Rolex authorised dealers partly to blame? Because I'll tell you something that I see all the time is a client will come to us to sell a watch, freshly dated, picked up from their authorised dealer, we get it, it's got handling marks, it's got damage to the screws. The screws are where you unscrew the bracelet, so we've got the spare links on here, and you can see there, it's got little screws to the side. You have quite a few removables depending on which watch that you actually buy. And we see it where the Rolex authorised dealer is not very well trained, he's not inspected the watch. You know, you're taking a watch from a Rolex authorised dealer and you're taking their word for it that that is a brand new watch. Well, I can tell you now for the last 2 months, what we've seen is they have imperfections, they have handling marks, especially on the Oyster Flex as well. This is a real good one for you. And we've had quite a few, and if you follow the channel and documentary, you'll see we've had clients come into the boutique with exactly the same problem. These have the Oyster Flex strap, they're all different sizes. This is an 18 karat yellow gold Paul Newman. For example, when you collect this watch, sometimes it will not fit. They have a standard E and F strap on. You might have a bigger or smaller, they'll drop the straps. When they do that, we see scratches to the shoulders on the outside, and we also see scratches to the case back as well. This is something else that Rolex are doing. Now, I'm sat here and you're watching, but you sell Rolex, Charlie. You know, you are like a Rolex independent dealer. Yes, I am. And I'm not calling Rolex out as a brand. I'm just calling out what I see from this side of the desk. And what I see from this side of the desk is certainly a slip of quality control. You know, we have many different procedures. What we have at LWC when we inspect a watch, and our Rolex authorized dealer is doing the same, because I can guarantee you, when it comes in, why are they not doing their due diligence to check that watch over, see the imperfections on the bezel, see the hairs under the dial, you know, checking the watch over for you, so when you collect it, you know it's 1,000,000% perfect. If any of you guys watching this have had similar experiences with your authorized dealer, I would certainly like to hear it, so please leave your comments below. And if I can give you any advice, when you're collecting your watch from your authorized dealer, just make sure you inspect it thoroughly before you leave the store, because the amount of volume that we've seen over the last few months tells me that the ADs are not doing their job properly. So I'm going to do a quick roundup for you guys of our best-selling models over the last 4 weeks. And we've had a slight reversal, which is why it's always important to follow our market update each month. And starting at number 4 is the GMT Master range. We've had an even spread of models sold, including the new Bruce Wayne on the Jubilee. We've had the Root Beer, the Batman, the Batgirl, the Sprite, and the new GR&R. So it's been a slower month for the GMT. It's in the bottom category, but we are still selling individual ones of each. The Root Beer in particular, we're not seeing that many. I've got to show you here. I'll just quickly grab one. And this particular one, the Rolex Root Beer, we all know you can buy it for just under, just over, or list price on the grey market. The GR&R is in the same category. I really like this watch. This is the 18 karat yellow gold, new release last year. Just over list on the grey market. Again, an easy one to pick up. So coming in at number 3 is quite surprising for me, the Daytona range. Let's start off with the bestseller. It is no surprise. The best one in this category is the Ghost. The white gold, Oyster Flex Daytona, grey dial, black sub-dials. We will buy as many of these as we can. List is 29,300. We sell these for just under 37,000. We will buy as many of these as we physically can. We've also sold quite a few of the other Oyster Flexes. There again, the top in the Daytona range. We've sold the Sundust, which is the same, but in the rose gold variant, again, around 35k for us to retail. Same price as the Ghost, 29,300 on that one. We've also sold the Paul Newman, which is this one here. This is the new reference. This has been very popular as well. Again, a lower retail from Rolex at 27,900, and we sell these for around 35,000 to give you guys an idea. Into category number 2, and it is last month's number 1, and it is the Datejust range. I'm not going to go through them all. I'll give you our top 2 sellers, and it is the Mint. Absolutely such a beautiful watch, and a great seller, by the way, and very high demand. I'm going to take this one as well, and this is the Wimbledon, the top 2, end of story. No argument to be had here, and again, we will buy and sell as many of these as we physically can. And then into the number 1 spot, and by a huge margin in the last 4 weeks, it's the Submariner range. And in particular, the best seller of this category is that one right there. It is the Submariner Starbucks. And it's this one here, the green bezel, really good value in the current market considering the retail price, just under £10,000 from Rolex. We retail these, if it's a brand new one, for around 13,000, and if it's a pre-owned, in the 12s, and we've sold a huge amount of this particular model. The second in the category, not by much, is the No Date. My personal favourite. A lot of you guys have been pulling the trigger on this one. It's the No Date, super clean, classic, what a watch that is. Really popular. We've sold some sub-dates, not many bluesies again, same as the Root Beer. The Rolex retail price is just a little bit high in the current market. We can sell you a brand new one for the list or just under list on that particular model. Hope you enjoyed this video. YouTube thinks you should watch this video next.